I went through a period of isolation for 4 years, and I keep telling people, like, my period of isolation.
I love her videos, so if you haven't seen any of them yet, definitely go watch them, especially if you've been through a period of sinking into the underworld of your thoughts and subconscious. I definitely relate to her, and this is the second time I've stitched one of her videos, but this is the first time I've done it on this account. I've done it on the on my podcast account, but she is really watch the whole thing, because you'll definitely relate to it if you've been through this type of dissension and rebuilding yourself up and, you know, integrating your shadows. So I'm kind of like, I'm going through the same thing too. Like, I'll give you an example of my personal story. I, you know, work my way up in the trade that I work in. I work in construction, and, you know, I accomplish things really fast. Like, I accomplish things in a matter of 4 years that it would take people decades to accomplish in their career. And I was just so grateful and hungry to have financial stability, and I was so grateful and that industry had given me that type of financial freedom, and I wanted so deeply to, like, give back to everyone that had, you know, taught me things and all that. And so whenever I moved up to management, and I was just kind of seeing the things that we could be doing to, like, make things even better for the people that we were leading. And that just, people weren't on board with it. And I got so emotionally invested. I was obsessed with it. And it ended up, like, creating a lot of chaos in my life. And it made me realize that I'm like I can be a total control freak when it comes to making things calm and good for people in my community. And sometimes people don't really want you to get involved. And so anyways, so I went into this, like, dark night of the soul. It lasted about 2 years. And, you know, once I got on the other side of it, I first quit my job and, like, went back to the field working for another company. And I, like, regulated my nervous system, and I got to the point where I was, like, secure in myself, and I was feeling good, and I knew what I wanted, or at least I knew that I wasn't operating out of a place of, like, getting validation from other people, like, oh, wow, like, you really helped this situation for everyone, and everything got better, and, like, that was just, like, kind of just a weird thing to, like, want to accomplish at one point in my life. But I had a lot of things about my self-worth tied into, like, being valuable to others is, like, what made me valuable. So, which is not true. Like, your worth is inherent. It doesn't really matter if you do things for others or if you just do things for yourself. Anyways, so, like, I went back to my old job because I was like, you know, I'm not going to be, like, operating out of a place where I need validation anymore, so it'll be fine. I'll just go back. And then when I got there, I just realized I don't actually even like this. I was just doing it to, like, help my community. And now that I know that that's being a control freak and I don't care about doing that anymore, I don't actually want it. So, but I am still interested in construction. Like, I have a lot of goals that are related to the construction industry. So I ended up moving to the general contracting side of things so that I'm, like, able to learn about all the different trades. And, you know, like, I'm really enjoying it and liking it. And I'm learning a lot all the time. And that's what makes me happy. And so I did that. But anyways, like, during the time I was, like, doing this dark night of the soul kind of experience, like, pretty much all my relationships fell off, like, kind of what she's saying. And honestly, like, I felt like my emotions were so dark and deep, and that I and this is another thing that I had to come to realize through all this experience, but like I felt like I would endanger people's emotional states by being around them. So I just like put myself in a timeout where I didn't talk to anyone. I was just like, I need to get to a place where I'm not going to harm others with my emotions, which was a really ridiculous thing, because like the reason why I really felt that way is because I associated sharing my feelings that were very deep and intense with me having to hold space for my dad when I was a really young child. And because he was abusive, that I had this like association of like, oh, if you're like trauma dumping on people, like you're a bad person, you know. And I which is like a ridiculous thing to think about myself, because I'm not, you know. But that was like a subconscious belief that I had, that my body had created. It's like, oh, like people that trauma dump are like not safe, because my first experience with that was with both of my parents. I live with my dad mostly, so it was with him. And anytime that I've ever tried to like communicate this stuff to my dad, like he always kind of like, he just always throws it back on my mom. Like, she's so crazy. She just abandoned you. And like, why aren't you mad at her? And like, the thing is like, the only reason is because my mom took accountability for the things that she did. That's the only reason that I still talk to her and I don't talk to my dad. And because I am a person that wants to forgive people, but I cannot. I mean, I've forgiven him. Like, let's be real, but he can't be in my life if he can't take accountability for his actions and actually change. So, you know, and every once in a while, he'll like do anyways, I don't want to talk about him. I'm done giving that energy to that. But that was kind of something that I came to the realization that it's like, you're not abusing people, so it's fine for you to talk to people about things that you're going through. And also, like, part of me was just kind of like, I don't feel like this is like all of me. And since this is like the center stage of my life right now, like, that's not really where I want to how I want to present myself. And luckily, some people showed up in my life that were able to hold that type of intensity, and I still see like those relationships, like I don't see them holding me in that negativity, you know. Like, I don't know if you've ever like shared with friends like your deepest, darkest shadows, and then like they kind of just assign that to you forever. So that's like, oh, that's who she is. Like, no, that's just like a very small part of who I am. So, I mean, I do feel like this is going all over the place, but, you know, Gemini stellium here. It gets a little out of control. So, it could go everywhere, and I'm, like, constantly in my mind, like, connecting dots that probably seem very unrelated to other people, but make sense to me. But yeah, like, so all of a sudden, it's like one day you get the clarity, once you've been through this, like, long period of, like, solitude and dark night of the soul, and then you're like, you know, I'm good. It's safe for me to come out of this cocoon, like she was saying, and to make friendships, because I'm coming from a place of authenticity, and I'm going to be attracting people that are in the same wavelength as me and are going to want to be in that space with me as like the new happy version, authentic person that I am now. And also, like, I'm rejuvenated enough and my nervous system has regulated enough and I've integrated these shadows enough that I feel confident enough to make new relationships and to have fun again, actually, and to be social. So looking forward to our next chapter, and let me know if you relate to this at all.